Despite the fall of the Bastille, why didn't the French immediately abolish the monarchy, or simply kill the king? These and other questions will be answered right after this. I am Professor Jerome Arkenberg, and I have been teaching a wide variety of history courses at colleges across this country for the past 30 years. In this video, I'm going to tell you about how the fall of the Bastille led not to a radical, but a moderate revolution, and how France became a constitutional monarchy, not too dissimilar from Britain. At the end, I'll have the wrap-up quote on this video. But first, make sure to click like, share, especially subscribe, and that little bell thingy, so I continue to bring you more great videos just like this one. After the fall of the Bastille, the Estates General, dominated by the Third Estate, declared itself a national assembly representing all of France without class, distinction, or estate. And since the king and his ministers were unsure of the army's loyalty, they acquiesced. On the night of August 4th, the National Assembly, in a flurry of activity, then abolished the feudal order and freed the serfs. Within a few hours, over 1,000 years of repression legally disappeared. A few weeks later, the National Assembly promulgated the Declaration of the Rights of Man and the Citizen, proclaiming personal liberty and legal equality. And it's written in a very Jean-Jacques Rousseauian way. It states, we, the representatives of the French, give you people these rights. But famine and the fear of counter-revolution led the women of Paris to march on Versailles, forcing both the king and the National Assembly to move to the Tuileries Palace in the heart of Paris, which radicalized the revolution from fear of the Paris mob. In July of 1790, after months of debate, the Catholic Church was nationalized. All monastic orders were dissolved, and priests were made state employees elected by their parishioners. But the clergy refused, as did the Pope, and France was placed under papal interdict, which meant no masses, no baptisms, no burials, no marriages, etc. were allowed, at least not through this church. This did not stop the assembly, which then ended press censorship, centralized power in a representative government, established a new administrative structure, instituted equality before the law, and separated the executive from the legislative power. However, many Frenchmen did not like these changes, and very many hated it. So more of the clergy and nobility fled, including the king's brothers. And these immigrants, began lobbying the other European monarchs to intervene, to restore divine right absolutism. And of course, early on in Britain, many were sympathetic. This is a British cartoon at the time. See, here is French freedom. Hey, everybody's happy. Here is British freedom. No, it's really slavery. But then the king and his family did something really, really stupid. In June 1791, the king and his family slipped out of Paris in disguise and attempted to flee the country. Unfortunately for them, they were recognized at the border, returned to Paris, and kept under arrest in the Tuileries Palace. But despite the king's flight, on September 3rd, 1791, a new constitution was promulgated, and France became a constitutional monarchy. The kings stopped just short of the border. The wrap-up quote: "What has the assembly accomplished? In the midst of storms, it has, with a firm hand, traced the principles of a constitution which will assure your liberty forever. The rights of man had been misconceived and insulted for centuries. They have been reestablished for all humanity in that Declaration of the Rights of Man and the Citizen, which shall serve as an everlasting war cry against oppressors and as a law for the legislators themselves. The nation had lost the right to decree both the laws and the taxes. This right has been restored to it, while at the same time the true principles of monarchy have been solemnly established. Privileges without number, irreconcilably at enmity with every good, made up our entire public law. These have been destroyed. A vexatious feudal system, powerful even in its ruin, covered the whole of France. It has now disappeared, never to return. In the provinces you were subject to harassing administration. From this you have been freed. Arbitrary commands threaten the liberty of the citizens. They have been done away with." Address of the National Assembly to the French people, 1790. So, let me know what you think of this quote in the comment section below. Also, what you liked about this video, and what other historical topics or subjects you'd like to see in future videos. Be sure to click like, share, and especially subscribe, as that will help me bring you more great videos, and click on that little bell thingy, so you'll know when the next History Waits for No One video is posted. If you want to know more, there are recommended studies on this topic in the description below, along with other ways to connect with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the past.